Morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. We'll be starting in just a moment. Good morning. Thanks for jumping in.
Morning, Tony.
Morning, Gordon.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for jumping in. Welcome to the Power Hour, where the hour shall pass and the power continues, because that power is within you. This is a special morning, and we want to just do some quick housekeeping to remind you of a thing or two. Please keep those microphones on mute. We'll take questions or feedback that you may have later down into the show. This has actually been recorded, so you'll be able to watch a replay on YouTube um, in the coming hours or days, hopefully. The YouTube accounts, Global Opportunities Committee, the Atlanta Black Chambers, please take a moment and head over to YouTube if you can and look for the Atlanta Black Chambers or the Global Opportunities Committee and subscribe. Give us a little bit of thumbs up there if you like the programming that we're delivering. We have a goal that we'd like to hit 1,000, at least over 1,000 subscribers for the chamber, and then we'll follow through suite after. Follow us on LinkedIn as well, and anywhere you do social media. Some big shout outs if you are coming in or tuning in from somewhere outside of the Metro or the US, please put that in the chat. We'd love to know where you're tuning in from, or so that we can say hello and feel free to connect and tell us about who you are in the chat as well. I'm sure folks would love to also know that. A couple quick announcements. We are still setting to go to West Africa. We'll be doing Nigeria and Ghana. We've basically dropped two of the countries essentially. at the moment. So we won't be going to Togo or Liberia anymore, but we'll go to Ghana and Nigeria, and that's actually in March 9th, up to I think it's now the 19th or so. So we'll have an opportunity to connect with our Nigerian and Ghanaian folks. We'll be in Abuja, we'll do Lagos, and then we'll do Accra. So if you or anyone you know is interested, I think it might be too late for you if you're interested in jumping on. But if you know anyone in the region that you'd like to ensure that we're connected to, feel free to let them know. And then also we'll see if you're attending the Atlanta Black Expo. We'll obviously see you out there. We'd love to meet you in person and connect with you. Find us and come say hi. It's always nice to see faces and shake hands and so forth. And then in April we're planning to partner with the Real Estate Professional Service Committee of the Atlanta Black Chambers to do their Top Golf, which I think Top Golf is this week for them in February, but we're going to be doing that together. So the in-person mixer for GOC and the real estate professional service will be coming together to do a collab on the Top Golf. So if you're interested in coming out in person, feel free to actually do that as well. Um, so thanks for everyone who have been tuning in to the Power Hour. We really appreciate it. We've been doing a lot of work behind the scene, and today is a special day because we'll be talking to our brothers and or folks from the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. So when you hear me say OECS going forward, that's what I mean. And so I'm pleased to welcome the executives from the OECS Business Council, and they'll be my guests today, and we'll be talking a lot about the OECS, and we'll talk a lot about the region. We'll talk a lot about the MOU that we actually have in place, and we'll also do a digital signing here so that you can be a part of that witness, and hopefully you'll be able to use that MOU. I'll tell you that we have approximately 10 MOUs now across several continents, and this is actually the second one in the Caribbean region. We do have one with the Black Entrepreneurs Association of Guyana, and thanks to Stacy Mollison, who is our regional lead for Guyana, she had worked with the BEA team out there. What does this mean when we sign these MOUs, though? It's more than just signing. It's more than just a symbolic gesture of our commitment to work together. It is for you to execute. It is for you to use that MOU. It gives you access. It's almost kind of like having folks on speed dial. So if you say to us like, "Hey, GOC, I'm heading to Guyana and I want to be able to connect," or "I'm interested in doing this thing in Guyana or that thing in Guyana," we know exactly who to connect you to because we have a commitment with the folks out there to work together. And if some folks from Guyana want to do something here, we hope that you'd also return the favor and support them as well. So the one that we're signing today is essentially the same thing. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean State. It's a cluster of beautiful islands that is in the eastern part of the Caribbean. And if you are interested in doing business out there, which I know that there are some amazing opportunities that pops up. Oftentimes, people want to go for the popular stuff, the main street stuff, but there are some really cool, awesome opportunities for entrepreneurs out there that you can lean right into. And you may just be the one to do them because not everybody's going after them because not everybody really know these secret spots. And we're trying to make sure we bring them to you to help you to grow your business. And so likewise, the business owners of the region, they're interested in doing stuff here with you in Atlanta or in US or wherever you are. Please open up your arms to them, and because this is what we're doing. We're supporting each other and we're building out or network infrastructure. So it's easy for you to actually do business. We always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And so, you know the basket that I'm talking about. You always kind of want to have options. And so, who doesn't want an option that has an island that has beautiful Caribbean Sea? And if you need that option, it is available to you. And as of today, you'll be able to have at least 7 of those islands at your disposal if you never had it before. So super excited. So I want to bring Gordon Charles up to introduce himself and to tell us a little bit about um, who he is, first of all. And good morning, Gordon. Thanks for jumping in. What time is it there now out there? Is it 9:41?
Yeah, we're exactly an hour ahead of you. So it's
So you're in
9:41.
the future, essentially.
I'm in your future. I'm in
You're
my
in our
present.
future. You're in our future. Well, welcome to the Power Hour. Please tell the folks who you are. Give us a little bit of background, and then we'll dive into what is the OECS Business Council. This is an education platform, so feel free to give us the 101s.
Thank you, Ricardo. Good morning and welcome to everyone across the world, wherever you are. We coming from sunny St. Lucia, which is one of the OECS islands. The OECS is a cluster of approximately 12 islands. There are 7 protocol islands. There are some associate islands and some additional associate islands which form the OECS region. And what we have in common is a common currency, first of all, and we are an economic and financial union where you have free trade amongst all the islands. So from Antigua and St. Kitts in the north, which is close to Puerto Rico, down to Grenada in the south, which is just north of Trinidad. You find all of the entire OECS islands fitting in that area. We predominantly um, 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 Afro-Caribbean ethnicity. We're looking at the entire OECS, about 1.5 million people as a community. But in the principal islands, you're looking at about just over 600,000 persons. And we're talking about St. Lucia, Grenada, Dominica, some of the larger islands. The seven core islands that make up the OECS union. The OECS has its representation, and I'm almost sure that our representative from the OECS Commission is online here, Andrina, and can speak more to the OECS as a region because she works for the Commission. But in terms of a workspace, one of the things that we have is we have a common currency. So all those islands work with one solid, stable currency, which is pegged to the US dollar. It's probably the most stable currency in the Caribbean, so it's good to work with. As I said, it is pegged to the US dollar, so you know it's a consistent value at all points in time. The islands obviously offer the OECS islands are smaller in nature, but offer all of the expectations that you would want. And we talk about from obviously tourism. Tourism is the mainstay of our region, and there are opportunities for tourism, whether it is real estate development, whether it is investing in plants and operations down here, or bringing an entire new brand to the OECS. That's an opportunity. But there are also other areas of business that we are, I think, present an opportunity for business persons outside of the region. Telecommunications, call centers, for example. We have I think a highly high enough skilled population that is easily trainable, and you have a good economic background in terms of the pay scale that the sub-region has proven itself to be quite an effective zone for call centers. And with the number of international call centers, there's opportunity for call centers. In terms of retail, obviously, the opportunity to both import and export. You from and to the region. You have manufacturing. There are some strong manufacturers here. Obviously, across the region, rum, soaps, paints. There's all sorts of things that are manufactured and exported. So there are opportunities there. We are also strong in agro processing up to on smaller scales. Islands like St. Vincent, for example, are probably one of the most fertile places for the growth of and development of cassava, which is turned into cassava flour, which is known of course across the Caribbean and also in Africa as an alternative staple product for foods. Um, we also have a couple of companies that are in the manufacturing agro industries, condiments, food stuff like your peppers and your sauces and so on. There's a very strong company out of St. Lucia called Barron Foods, which exports to the US and also to Europe and everywhere else in the world. And the opportunities, once again, if there are people who would like to get these products and have them and be responsible for distributing them, there are all sorts of opportunities across the OECS. I think of small manufacturers that are looking for opportunities to partner with the external market and find sources and market sources for them. So it works in both directions. The
Yeah.
opportunities to come and invest there and opportunities for us to be able to look at some of what's happening here and export it.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into those. But how do you so tell us about you. I suppose you are also CEO of a company, and if you can
Yeah.
give us a little bit about Gordon himself.
Okay, fine. Gordon's been working with a family-operated business, which is from 1984. Currently the CEO. I've been so since 2004, sorry, running the family business down here in St. Lucia. We are strong players in the automotive sector. We're in real estate, significant in real estate. We are in insurance, and we're also in in finance business. And lastly, our biggest portfolio is that we're a major player in the food industry by way of the Massey Group. The Massey, you may have heard of Massey, which is a large regional conglomerate. We are the local partners in St. Lucia and the OECS. So we're a significant player in that business, which does over about 280 million US dollars a year in food just by itself. So we're a strong player. We represent them here in St. Lucia.
So essentially, if I have a food product and I want to get it into the OECS, you're the man to contact.
We are certainly big in distribution, and the biggest in retail.
All right, awesome. Well, we love that because we do have some Atlanta businesses that have physical goods, the physical product, and they'd like to get a shelf space, if you may, on one of those or several of those aisles that's in the region. Because we won't be shy about 1.5 million people buying a percentage of them buying a few products here or there, right? But I know equally you have businesses that are in the region that are interested in accessing the US market. Tell us a little bit about, if you can, some of the businesses that make up the OECS. Like, who are some of these businesses? And is there like how did they become a part? How do you become a part of the OECS Business Council? I want to talk about it from your context, and then maybe also check in with folks who are not from the region. Can they be a part of that as well?
Okay, so the OECS Business Council really was formed to be the pinnacle representation for the private sector representation in the OECS region across that chain of islands. Each island is an independent state, and each island has its own private sector bodies, whether it be manufacturers associations, chambers of commerce, lawyers, small business operators, etc. They all come together, and each island then has a representative. So I am representing St. Lucia on the OECS Business Council. The OECS Business Council is then the next level of umbrella, so to speak, in terms of representation. So we then now have access to the OECS heads of government ministers to talk about policy development because the OECS as a region is developing policy for itself as a sub-region. And we therefore will have the private sector input into that forum. So the OECS Business Council is formed of two representatives from each of the the 8 major partners, the 7 islands plus Anguilla. So there's 16 of us that come together, and we will then take issues and matters that represent what is important to each of the islands and bring it to this forum, and where we feel that we can add value from a common perspective in terms of lobbying and leveraging, we will then act accordingly to make sure that we can present the private sector from that perspective. The business across the OECS, in all honesty, I think I would say is made up primarily of small and micro businesses. You have a few large businesses, and when I say large, I'm talking about maybe um, between 100 and 1,000 employees, and maybe over 1,000 employees, very, very minimal. So those are large businesses. Some of those are mainly regional entities that are also outside of the OECS. But the OECS itself is predominantly small businesses. 90% of them are small businesses of 25 or less persons who are running their own operations. And they can join. What they do is they join the chambers of commerce or the manufacturing association in their territories, and those entities will then step up in terms of representation at the OECS business councils for matters. We try to focus on matters that affect us regionally, and to push OECS good information so that it leaves the operators within each island to focus on their neck of woods in terms of focusing on some of the issues that they apply.
Interesting. And so mainly small business. So like the Atlanta Black Chamber, we have a lot of small businesses, and a lot of our businesses are also into professional services. So if you look through the chat, you'll see people who are into media, people who are into marketing, people who are into real estate and these other stuff. What sort of opportunity would then exist as you think about those intangible services that folks offer? Can you talk a little bit about some of the opportunities that businesses like the ones that are in Atlanta and in other parts of the region or the world that are interested in leaning into that market that you have?
So this is exactly where and how the OBC, which is the Business Council, is intending to present itself. We have developed a platform, a virtual platform, which is going to be the center point of how we communicate with the external world. That platform is going to allow a business person in Atlanta to sign in, join up, and if they're in media, they may be able to then link, because all of the people, what we're going to do is build up that platform so that it will have communities, and there may be people in media, people in say craftsmanship, in arts, in retail, and that platform will allow individuals who are interested to come there and ask questions on the platform, to find people who have common interests, and also to maybe seek opportunities within their area of interest. And then within that platform, we can also even create smaller communities. So they may be able to, if there's a media company, they may be able to form a smaller grouping of media people with people within the region and talk about opportunities between themselves. So we think that that's going to be, it's about to be launched. We should be launching by March, the platform, and then that will be really the physical, I should say virtual space in which we will be communicating to the world. And I think the best opportunity for us to be able to attract persons who have interest in the OECS by coming in through that medium, because then we can direct them, they can direct themselves. The public sector persons on there who can see opportunities and direct them as well. So I think that's going to be we're calling it the Connection Hub, the OBC Connection Hub. And that is really going to be the opportunity for us to be able to move information back and forth.
And that's whether you have a physical product or you have a service that you're
Absolutely.
offering.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so anyone can join from anywhere, can
Anybody can
join
join,
that.
anybody can sign up
Okay.
from anywhere in the world. They can ask questions. We will also probably have a page where job opportunities are available, or someone can post job opportunities and say, look, there's an opportunity in Atlanta for a 6-month training stint or whatnot. And, people from the Caribbean can see that. So the whole idea is it is going to be really a platform where a complete communication of private sector opportunities both within the region and hopefully external to the region where we can share information.
And then can you talk a little bit about some of the things that happens next? I'm on the platform and I engage with someone locally and I want to do a joint venture perhaps, and that might require me to perhaps set up a company out in the region. How easy it is to do those kinds of stuff.
Ease of doing business. Okay. So it varies from island to island. We are trying to get to the point where, once again, as a region, as an OECS region, we all have common a common way of operating. And I'm right now I sit on a committee that is working towards that. The free movement of goods, free movement of persons across the space to make sure that that is finalized possibly by by 2029 completely. But the idea is that once you've identified a partner, the partner as well should be able to help. And we, as the OECS Business Council, as the Secretariat, can also find concerns that are there. There are listings that are available in each island. You often have like an area, an arm of the government, which would be called invest, like an investment arm. We have Invest in Lucia, for example, where we can get information in terms of of what it is, what is required to invest in St. Lucia, all of the different processes, licenses that are required, how easy it is to set up a bank account, financing, all those things. So that information can be had and could be shared, and we will stand ready to be able to provide assistance on those sorts of things as there are interests to come in through the OECS Business Council.
And will you, if you see anything that says Atlanta, Georgia, will you pay special attention to it? Make sure you
Um,
expedite.
Absolutely. We have I know Tony's on this call. Tony's acting as our secretariat for the next 24 months, and Tony will be the one to pull the trigger and say, hey, we have something from the guys from Ricardo and Roel and the guys in Atlanta, and let's see if we can find someone to partner them with across the OECS.
Yeah, because we like to move at a certain speed, and or folks can be impatient, and when they want to get their business done, they're ready to go because speed is money, they say. So that's very important. I know you have a couple other folks who are on the call, and I may call on some of the folks here just to kind of share their thoughts around the partnership that we're now having with the Global Opportunities Committee of the Atlanta Black Chamber. I don't know if he's on the call yet, Melvin Coleman, who is our president. And if he is, Melvin, I'd love for you to maybe come in and say hi. Because let me see, Melvin, are you here? And I thought I saw him earlier. Um, but he may not be here. But Melvin is the president and CEO of the Atlanta Black Chamber, and he's certainly delighted about this partnership that we actually have. The other person that I wanted to recognize is or the head of our regional leads in the Caribbean, Stacy Mullis, and I thought I saw Stacy coming in here earlier. Stacy's based in Guyana, but she helps us with the entire region. But I think today's moment is for Sandy Ford Edwards because Sandy Ford was the one who really orchestrated this partnership between the OECS Business Council. So we want to give Sandy Ford a big shout out, obviously, and thanks to you, Sandy, for the work that you're doing. Uh, you're welcome to pop in for a second or two and share a remark. What does this mean for you? You are from one of these islands in the region. I think it's Grenada, right? And you now you are between Atlanta and Grenada. What does it mean to you to sort of lock in arms now with the OECS Business Council, knowing that we can create this bridge that we easily be able to do bilateral transactions?
No, no, Ricardo, thank you very much for the opportunity, as well as Gordon and the colleagues from the OECS being a part of this moment. I consider it to be special. Coming from Grenada, and I think it might be easy if we use a sports analogy where we have Kiani James in Grenada, I'm from St. Lucia, we have Dominica, where we were able to medal in the last Olympics. And we have this thing where we say we punch above our weight. And so the OECS being a part of this opportunity locking into the Atlanta Black Chamber Global Opportunities Committee is an opportunity as well for businesses in the region and businesses here in the US and around the world to strengthen trade opportunities and partnerships and to see the region beyond just the sand, the sea, and sun. But as Gordon would have teed up, there are lucrative opportunities in the region to do business. And I know that within the region, we're also looking to expand globally. So this moment is special. I'm knowing that we're not getting left behind, but we're tapping into that drive of wanting to do 100 billion in business, especially Black-owned businesses in the region. So thank you, Ricardo, and the colleagues for giving the OECS the opportunity to be a part of and to plug into this network. And at the end of the day, really what we want to see is business to be done, not just the paper sign, but to do business and to transact in partnerships, in trade, in exports, in investment facilitation, etc. And I think if we're able to do that, and I'm quite certain we can, then we should have something to leave for the generations to come. So thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you. And it feels like an uphill battle, and it shouldn't feel like that. It should feel pretty easy, pretty simple for us to do business with each other, right? And Sandy, you're notorious for sharing these opportunities, tenders and projects into our private community. But I want to talk a little bit about you, Gordon, and feel free to weigh in, Sandy. Why do you think it is so difficult for us to do business to do business with each other? Something comes up, an opportunity, and then before you know it, somebody else takes it, and it's not us. Why do you think, Gordon, for all the years that you've been in business, I mean, you just run a number about 200 something million that you contribute to annually, and you've been in business for decades. Why do you think it is? What is it really that causes us to not be able to do business as easily as it seems with each other?
So, I mean, if we go to the World Bank ease of doing business criteria, I think there are it's a ranking of where it's easy to do business in the world, and there are I think there are about 11 indicators. I can't remember offhand, but there are indicators which are ranked, and each country is ranked and measured according to the ease of doing business in there. Whether it's, as I said, opening an account, getting licenses, and all those sorts of things. And I think that part of the problem is the government's recognizing the importance of removing some of the hurdles. And I know Jamaica had a big initiative on that 10 years ago, removing and reducing some of the barriers to entry and the hurdles. And you saw them step up in terms of their ranking. St. Lucia was very high at one point in time, and I saw it's taken a slide in the wrong direction. When I functioned as the president of the Chamber of Commerce about 10 years ago, that was my goal, was removing some of the barriers to trade. And for example, a single window for entry for dealing with government. So when you come in, whether it's a license you're looking for, or to register stuff, or to clear goods or whatnot, one single window so you can do, so the information is shared rather than having to go to this ministry and then take it to the next ministry. These sorts of things are where it becomes frustrating to do business. I do think we're getting better as time goes by, because we are seeing, as the world becomes a smaller globally, so to speak, opportunities there, and you're now seeing you're now seeing more persons from the external being able to come in and invest. In Lucia, for example, will work and look for foreign direct investment. So, as I said, I think the principal problem is some of the barriers and hurdles that exist, and I think it varies across the island chains. I think what we have to do is constantly work and identify them and try and eradicate them, so business and trade becomes more seamless. The OECS is working on that right now, because we are now trying to make one economic space, so that goods if you buy something and you bring it to St. Vincent, you can move it to St. Lucia and sell it there. You don't have to pay any more duties or taxes or whatnot, because once you hit the OECS, you're in one economic space. And that is going to be a significant uplift to be able to the ease of doing business in this region for sure.
Yeah, no, thanks. And Bob Marley celebrated a birthday this I think past week, and
That's
he's
correct.
famous for saying until the philosophy, which holds one interior from another, we will not stop. So I think we still have a lot of work to do until it's super easy for us to do business, until there's no hurdle for us to be able to transact with each other between states, regardless of where we are. We shall not stop. I wanna spotlight. We're in a spotlight moment, and we typically recognize one of our members, and this gentleman has been very committed to the cause of GOC and around the world, and he's been so instrumental to what is that we're doing. But today we want to talk about his business because a lot of people will know him for one thing, but they don't know how he makes money. And we want to bring Samuel Adimi up to tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and if you have any questions or so for Gordon, feel free to jumping in. Samuel, you're no stranger. Please tell us a little bit about who you are and tell us about your company, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, depending on where you are around the world. My name is Samuel Adeyemi. I'm the CEO of Media DNA. Media DNA is a global PR and market communication firm. We are in the business of reputation. So what we do is we manage reputation. We help businesses like you, global business, to advance and take your business to the next level. I would like to tell you a story that shows some of the ways we work. So some time ago, about 2 years ago or a year ago or so, we got a coverage for one of our clients. I think she's also based in the US. She came to an East African country and she runs a nonprofit. And we're able to get her a coverage on the national television of that country. And after the coverage, she got a call from a top government official, and she was given a parcel of land and support for our nonprofit. Why did that happen? It's because of what she said when she was speaking on TV. We were able to, coach her on what to say and what not to say, what would attract those that she's trying to target. So anybody can appear on TV, anybody can appear on newspaper, but it takes a certain level of science to be able to convince and be able to, influence people. And that's why I've written a book called Look Really Good. I don't know whether I don't know why it's showing here. The book is called Look Really Good. I wrote it few years ago, and it has 11 chapters. Chapter 1 talks about perception is everything. So your perception, the way people perceive you, it's everything. Chapter 2 talks about building a strong reputation. If you don't have a reputation, you don't have a business, you don't have a life. How to look good online. Everything rises and falls online now. If you don't, you need to know how to look good online. Chapter 4 talks about how to get free media coverage to look good. There is a way you can get free media coverage around the world, and there is a way to get it. How to be a thought leader. I know you've had it, in different places, how to be a thought leader and stuff like that. Chapter 7 talks about crisis communication strategies. What to do when you look bad. Crisis communication. I know a lot of small businesses don't think about crisis communication, but it's something that you need to learn about. How to swing your bank account with emotion. I can tell you, this emotion, okay, this one talks about for businesses, how to use emotion to market your product and services. And chapter 10 now talks about emotion on the ballot. I can tell you a lot of research have shown that elections are won and lost based on emotion, not about logic. The people that you vote for are based on emotion, not logic. Look at American election. People that voted, they just go to the poll just based on emotion. And it happens around the world. It's not only America, everywhere around the world. So if you are running for political office in your own country, how do you use emotion to influence the electorate? And we also talk about making money and looking good with excellent character. Of course, you need excellent character as well. So the title of it is how to make money and increase your influence with excellent reputation. So I'll be dropping the link on the chat. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Kindle, and everything that I've written here is not theory. Is what I've experienced. I have close to more than 10 years experience doing this job, both locally and internationally and around the world. I've been to more than 10 countries around the world doing this. And of course, if you want us to also, do it for your country, for your company, your organization, and it doesn't matter the number of people that you have in your businesses, personal reputation, personal branding is very important for you. Thank you, Ricardo.
Well, thank you, Samuel. So you are the reputation guy. I guess we can call it that from now. But if you would like to reach to Samuel, please feel free to put your information in the chat. Samuel is always here,
Okay.
so you can never miss the guy. He's always here. He's always here to help you, as he said, to make you look good. Get a copy of his book as well. We'll put your link in the chat. Support the brother, and learn a thing or two about how to build and maintain your reputation. Thank you. We appreciate you for the work that you do within the GOC of the ABC, and the lives that you touch and change on a regular basis. Gordon, I want to come back to you. We also have a poll. Just kind of curious to see how many of you have sort of maybe been on any of the OECS. We'd love to kind of know what sort of interest that you may have. But Gordon, as part of our MOU, and we'll be looking at the MOU in a second, but I wanted to kind of talk about how business, how can a business expand into the region? I know it's multiple market. What are the things that they should be thinking about? Maybe top 2 or 3 things that they should be thinking about as they're thinking to come into the market in the region. It's multiple markets and multiple islands. You don't want to be to feel overwhelmed with that. What's your feedback on that?
So the first thing I think is logistics. Because it is multiple market, you have to look at the logistics of whether or not you're exporting a product or whether it's a service. How are you going to find that market and develop it? I also, through my years of experience, have always found that working with a partner on the other side helps. Sometimes, 2 plus 2, or I should say 1 plus 1 makes 5. If you go work with the right partner. And I think if you can find someone on the other end of the business, so whether it's someone here looking for a partner in Atlanta or someone in Atlanta looking for someone to partner in the OECS, it really helps because that person is going to be able to understand the market a lot better and go to ground very quickly. And the dynamic is there, especially if you have a joint vested interest. So I would say the first thing from my perspective is understanding the market and understanding the logistics of whatever services you're trying to provide. The rest is simple because all of the islands tend to have either a chamber of commerce or a government arm that can provide you with information as to how you can access and the various things that are required. And as I said before, the OECS Business Council will be presenting itself as soon as we go live with our platform. We're presenting ourselves as that key location to be able to get that sort of information as well. So that'd be my number one thing, looking at the logistics of the market, because we are spread, and even for us who operate here, figuring out how you can operate in the various islands, that is one challenge.
Yeah. And then for say for OECS businesses, what is it that you think that they need from the US? Like, what is it that you guys need from Atlanta? How can Atlanta businesses or US businesses help these businesses?
Access to the market. Right now, unfortunately, we're also dealing with the imposition of the increased tariffs to our region, which I think it's at 10% right now, which is unfortunate, but that's what we're dealing with the US. But I think access to the market is important. If we have now a link where we can send persons to you guys and identify whether it's something they're trying to export, say, a product, and they're looking for a distributor in the Atlanta area or in the Georgia area or in the US. We're looking for people who can market their products, and the product may not just be a physical, it may be a commodity, it may be a service. So I think it is access to the market, and I think this is really where we're looking forward to being able to identify players within our area and say, look, let's send you to the Atlanta Black Chamber and see, if they can identify persons within their portfolio of members who have a common interest and may be interested in the product that you have. So I think it's really about access to the market. There are some areas where you do find non-traditional barriers to entry, and they do exist. You'll find some things that make it difficult. I know one exporter told me that he has to go around all of them, but he makes it happen. So there are some trade barriers that are established that create problems. But we work with that. I think if you have a partner on the other side who you're working with, it really does help because that person has a vested interest in your success.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I want to just pause for a moment. And I know Melvin Coleman, the president of the chamber here in Atlanta, is here. Just I wanted him to jump in real quick, just to say hello, so that you can know who he is and how much he appreciates and support this partnership that we're creating with the region, because it provides more access on both sides. Melvin, good morning. I know you're short on time, but just wanted you to say a quick few words on this important discussion that we're having and this relationship that we're forming as of today. I think he's probably frozen, so we're gonna try to see if we can get him get him back. So what you really meant then, Gordon, by access to the US market, you're meaning buyers, you're meaning distributors. That's
Yeah.
essentially what you mean, yes?
Yeah, it's really having players who have a common interest, and I
Yeah.
think they are common interest because if we have product that we're manufacturing that we think is marketable and merchantable, I'm almost sure that there are parties on the other side who can see an opportunity from as well. And part of our limitation is the economies of scale. If I mean, with 1.5 million people, if we can get into the Atlanta region and into the US, it's the economies of scale are tremendously broader, and it means that we can now build up production because the more production you have, the lower your costs of inputs are, etc. And it works. I just saw someone online asking how they can get their products their solar panel products into this forum. Certainly, if I'm going to use your role for now because I'm not set up yet. If they can get to Sandiford and share the information to Sandiford, who's part of the GOC, it means that he can then share it with us, and we will immediately get looking at opportunities down here, because that is something that is important for us down here. The governments in the OECS do provide support for energy, and there's all sorts of duty concessions on energy equipment and so on. And it's a good opportunity if someone can provide those panels and services and generators. It's a business that works down here for us. We've got a lot of sun. We also have hurricanes, and therefore generators are important.
Yeah, no, and we have a few. I think we have about two or so questions that we want you to answer, but I see Melvin is
Sure.
back. I just want to make sure he could hear us this time. Melvin, can you hear us? So the reception seems
He's,
to be
he's muted. Melvin
Trying.
on mute. Good. He's muted again.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
yes.
Good morning. I do have a couple of minutes. Of course, I'm in the midst of several things, but I wanted to show up I understand we have yet another relationship that we want to solidify. So, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Melvin, and just wanted you to share briefly. We've been talking about the region for the OECS, and if you can just share a little bit about the chamber and the mission, and why is this important for our members here in Atlanta to lock arms with the members of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean State. There's 7 islands, 1.5 million people, and even if 1% of those people are business owners, you still have at least 15,000 businesses that you can connect to. If you could give some remarks around how important that is for ABC and for the advancing of Black businesses here.
Absolutely. You know, our global initiative is the biggest driver of our growth and our positioning beyond the United States, which is so important because we know that the opportunities are so many, and we've got to stay connected throughout the whole diaspora. Now, when it comes to the Caribbean and those opportunities, obviously the proximity, you know, why would we not invest and cultivate productive relationships in that region with it being so close? So this makes all the sense in the world, and I'm glad that we are at last establishing a real relationship, and I'm looking forward to how it can grow and the opportunities that we're able to bring to the table in a win-win partnership. Again, the first thing that comes to mind when you say Caribbean and all of our people there is the proximity to the United States.
Yeah, no, thank you, and we appreciate that. And so Gordon has been filling us in on the opportunities that exist there. I see John L has a question that you wanted to ask. Gordon, please unmute.
Yes. My name is John L. Carroll Menifee. I'm CEO of Solar Time USA and Solar Time East Africa. We just opened up an office in Kenya, and would like to understand what is the time frame of starting a company in the region. I mean, is it per island, or can we start in one island, then we can sell to multiple islands? How does that work, sir?
Okay, so currently it is per island, but with where the OECS is going, it means that if you do have a product within the OECS, it can be shipped to the other islands within the OECS without attracting any additional duties or government charges. Outside of that, because the Caribbean is larger than that. You have the larger islands of the CARICOM, like Trinidad and Jamaica and so on. If any product is manufactured in CARICOM, does not attract duties if it is shipped within the CARICOM. So if you manufacture something in St. Lucia and send it to Trinidad, it should not attract any duties. It just be the freight charges, logistics. There may be some VAT, and so on, which should be added, value-added tax. But aside from that, it's as long as you've established the plant within the sub-region, within the region, it means that it becomes part of a CARICOM-based or an OECS-based product, which is then void of the common external tariff. It becomes part of the region. In terms of times of setup, I wouldn't want to speak too quick, definitively on that. It depends on the industry. It is certainly interested because the Caribbean is now, I think, focusing quite a bit on energy conservation and green energy. And there are a number of initiatives right now for which the government support initiatives of the establishment of solar farms, etc., and production in that direction. So certainly, if your company is producing it, there may be an opportunity for you to talk to us, and we can do this further offline in terms of the opportunities that may present itself for your company and the OECS region for sure after this call.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Janelle. Hopefully, we'll be able to see you doing something also in the region. There's a question that I had about that came in the chat about regional film, but I want to recognize or folks from the Atlanta Black Expo. They you might have seen that in the chat. They're putting on the Gordon and in Atlanta. You're pretty close, so maybe there's a chance that some of your OECS Business Council members can fly over and experience it. It's kind of like the Super Bowl for Black business, and it's an amazing thing to witness. And these guys have magically brought all of these Black businesses together in one place under one roof. And Angie can better explain that because this is her doing. And so she and Corey and team is responsible for the largest showcase of Black businesses, and it could be a great opportunity as well for OECS businesses to be represented. Angie, I'll give you a minute to talk a little bit about what's coming up in the next couple of days.
Yes, Ricardo, thank you so much for the opportunity. This is an incredible part of the ABC, and we're so excited to have the GOC as part of it. And Gordon, you just spoke to my heart. Dominica is one of my favorite islands, one of the most beautiful places, I'd say, in the world. So, okay, the Black Expo is coming up February the 20th through the 22nd. We will be at the Georgia World Congress Center. This is the biggest showcase, as Ricardo mentioned, of Black businesses in the South. And we would love to have anyone that can travel here to attend. We do still have some opportunities to vend and to partner with us in multiple ways. I think that people should come to the Black Expo expecting to meet your future collaborator. So you come there, you see, we have business owners, everything from people making, we say, shea butter and clothes, to blacksmiths, because we as Black folks do everything. And we want to showcase everything that we do, not just to other Black people, to everyone. We are fully on display for everyone in the South to understand that we can, will, and do everything. So come there expecting to meet your future collaborators. Again, this is February 20th through the 22nd. We start with a full education day on Friday, where you can hear everything from how to work AI to how you start your business and many other topics. And Ricardo, of course, will be there on site as well. We always love it because he shares so many ways to connect business owners in America. There's so many questions we have. I was speaking to one of my best friends yesterday, Taria, and she said that she does business in Ghana every year. And it's something as simple as, how do I communicate with business owners in Ghana? Am I allowed to speak to them directly? We have so many questions as Americans of how we do businesses with people in other spaces, in other countries. And Ricardo, thank you so much for all your work. Use the code ABC, please. ABC is our strongest partner. Use their code and you'll save $5 off your ticket. And also, you'll still have a great experience. And we do still have some vendor tables available. Thank you so much, Ricardo. And I'm available for any questions. Email me at info@ATL Black Expo. And I'll even put my personal phone number in there if anybody wants to talk to me about a partnership. Oh, also, Costco will be there, coming all the way from the state of Washington to share how you can do business with Costco. Thank you, Ricardo.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. Thank you, Angie. And we're looking forward to seeing some of you there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we may run over 1 minute or so because Gordon has a document like me here, which symbolizes the relationship that we're, essentially getting married today. Maybe that's probably not the way that we should say it, but we're locking arms, if I may say that. And we've put together an MOU. We've looked at it, we've reviewed it. And we are all in agreement to work together. And so, Gordon, if you would show your version and do the honors and just put your name on that dotted line. Melvin is a signature on this as well as myself and Gordon and the other folks. This is a remarkable moment because what happens here now is that you now have official access, as we say, and it's not common. as Jay Bailey always like to say for rights, is uncommon access. But I think for us, it's access speed dial. You now have the OECS on speed dial, and you can now push for us to help you to get what it is that you want in there. So you see the big man himself signing there, and on my end, I'll also sign as a gesture just to ensure that I'm also committed. The GOC members, Jason, our membership lead, who is here to support you. Once you are a part of the GOC, you can become an international member. You need to utilize the offices that we have to help you to do business and to get your agenda accomplished. So this is very important, guys, and we want to make sure that you know that we're here. We are actually here for you, and this moment signifies that. Listen, it's up to you now. The power is in your hands. So we did sign. I did sign. It's hard to kind of see my background, but I did sign, and we'll make the MOU available to our members so that you'll be able to see. But what this says really is that you have access. You have more access, and the network affects the net worth, but the relationship, the relational wealth, is something that you are responsible for building. And all we can do is build a platform, give you the access, and allow you to play your cards, but play your cards right. Play your cards right and play them in your favor. Because when you flip and you get that king of spades, that's the winning one that you need to then win with. So we appreciate you, Gordon. Any last bit of advice, any final thing that you would like to say, Gordon, as we move into this new era of the relationship between the Atlanta Black Chambers Global Opportunities Committee and the OECS Business Council?
Just once again, thank you very much, Ricardo, for receiving us and agreeing to work with us. Thank you, Sandiford, for making that initial connection. And on our end, Sanya Aline, who's one of our executives who knows Sandiford in a past life, for bringing us together. I think today was a really great example of, I think, where this can go. I'm very intrigued by the opportunity. Let's develop it out, folks. All of you guys in the AOC and all of the people in the OBC and the OECS, let's take advantage of these sorts of opportunities and make them work. I've signed. We're going to get Tony registered to sign on our end as well, and we get the document properly formally set up. Thank you very much once again, and we look forward to a strong and healthy relationship with the Atlanta Black Chamber. I know I'll steal your thunder and say that I know you guys are planning a mission to the Caribbean next year, and we're rooting to make sure that the OECS is one of the stops. Whichever island, it doesn't matter, but one of the stops has to be the OECS. So we're looking forward to that, guys.
Absolutely. And you saw the poll result. A lot of people have been to some of the major islands, St. Lucia, Grenada. People have been out there, but you still have a number of folks who haven't really touched foot on the island. You've got to see those blue ocean. You got to see that crystal water. You got to do that, folks. If there's not one thing you do, is one thing you do for the rest of your life. Your bucket list is got to make sure you go in the Caribbean and soak yourself up in the sun, sand, and sea that's out there. But do business, most importantly, because that's what matters most. So thank you guys for coming through for this Power Hour. We will see you next week when we'll do another show. But thank you so much. The power is within you now. Go out and make it happen. Thank you everyone for all you do, and we look forward to doing more business together. Thank you so much. Have a good day, everybody. Have a good day, everybody.